Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to talk about the MapKit package that's available under the iOS framework. And I'm using this open source app called Corona Tracker to explain how MapKit works. So if I were to run this app, you can see that there's this map that we can navigate, and we can also zoom in and out. And then essentially, you can see there are these colored dots representing how severe the corona situation is at the region. And if you click on any dot, it will give you the data that's relevant to, in this case, the country. And on the top right corner, you can also click on different filters. So in this case, if you want to look at the active COVID cases, the recovered, the deaths, you'll be able to do that using this floating buttons. And let's say I want to click on this region. You'll see that there are these fancy data, including the info charts on the bottom, where you can kind of interact with it. If I click in this case, this is a share button. But in this case, there are these filter that you can look at so that the bar chart would be able to change. If we were to navigate to the Xcode, we can see that under control, there's this map folder. And since we're talking about MapKit today, I want to specifically look at how map is being implemented in this app. So essentially, the core of this MapKit package is this thing called MapView, or MK MapView. And this is what I'm going to talk about in my personal demo app. So if we were to navigate over to my demo app, as you can see, suppose that this is a plain new iOS app that you just created. If you were to create MK MapView, you'd be able to drag it over to put it onto the screen. But in this case, since I have it already, I'm not going to do it. And next, just as how you implement your buttons, all you have to do is do a control drag. After you do that, without any implementation, you can just run the app. And this itself, off the shelf, is going to give you a map view, which is really perfect because you don't have to do anything to be able to get this view of maps. And further customization is needed because if you want to control the camera, how it zooms in and out, or if you want to put in annotations, just as in this app where you have this dots, right? You want to do that, then you have to further customize that programmatically. So in this case, let's say I want to create an annotation. And let's say I'm interested in Apple Park as a tourist attraction. So in this case, I'm gonna create a variable, and this is a MK point annotation object. And then I'm gonna set the attributes of the coordinate to be, this is a special object that contains the latitude and longitude. So here I enter the Apple Park's longitude and latitude. And also I initialize the title, subtitle, and then lastly, all I have to do is call mapview.add annotation, and we're adding Apple Park, which is the variable that I set. So if we were to run this, we're seeing this Apple Park annotation. So if we were to zoom in, it's gonna take some time. Oops. All right, we're seeing this spaceship-like Apple Park. So if you were to click on this, it's gonna be showing you the subtitle as well as the title. So next, let's say I wanna control the zoom in and zoom out of the camera so that I don't have to do this zoom in many times whenever I open the app. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna uncomment this code. This code is saying that I say create a coordinate region, and it's a MK coordinate region. Here I put in 3 parameters. The first one is center. So I want to set the center of our screen to be Apple Park. And then here there are these 2 parameters. It says longitude meters, latitude meters. So it's kind of confusing. So I'm gonna click on option click. And here it says latitude meters means that the north to south span of the region specified as a distance. So essentially this means that if I put in 1,000, that means in my screen, the top to bottom is gonna show the 1,000-meter. Essentially, that's what it means. So if this number were to be much bigger, let's say 10,000, it's gonna be much more zoomed out. So if you want to see the object clearly, you want to put this number to be as low as possible. So if we were to run this, as you can see in this view controller, in this simulator, sorry, you're seeing this zoomed in version of the map. Next, let's say I want to add, let's say I don't like this annotation view, right? I don't like this red thing that's on the screen. I want to customize that. How do I do that? So a quick implementation is to use a protocol called MapKitFeaturePresentation. In this case, I'm just going to uncomment this one. And by using this delegate, I need to have this line of code to say MapView.delegate equals self. It's kind of similar to when we implement the table view. We have to call that delegate equal to self to be able to use the method. So in this case, I prepared 2 images that are under this asset. I want to add in another annotations. I'm gonna also uncomment this. So essentially, this is the same thing as this one, except that it's of a different coordinate, so that we can see these 2, our Apple Park and our Googleplex much clearer in one screen. If we were to look at this method, it's saying that this method, it's called view for, essentially is taking in an MK annotation object and returning an MK annotation view object. So what view means is that it's a view instead of just an annotation. So in this case, the first line of code is that creating this variable called annotation view, which is an annotation view object. The next line of code here, we're using an if let statement, and then we say that if the title is equal to Apple Park, then what we're going to do is that we're going to say the annotation view.image to set that to be equal to a UI image. And then if this is called Googleplex, if the title is called Googleplex, I'm going to create another image for that. And then this line of code, annotation view dot can show call out, it's saying that if I were to interact with this annotation, it's going to pop out some data. So let's say the title and the subtitle will appear in a dialogue format. And finally, I just return an annotation view. So as you can see, our Apple Park, it doesn't have the red annotation, default annotation icon anymore. Instead, it has the Apple icon. If we were to click on this is a dialogue format that I mentioned, right? And then if we were to navigate over to Googleplex, you can also click on that. So essentially, that's how you would create a custom annotation view with a custom image. And this is really similar to what the Corona Tracker app is doing. So this dialogue is customized so that it shows the data that's important in terms of the COVID situation in that region. And yeah, thank you for watching today.